Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to go through the items that I purchased in the month of February and whether or not I would repurchase those again. I'm also going to show you some things I've been reaching for on a regular basis, whether or not they are things that were purchased in February or at an earlier time. So I've got my list here, so let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we have the Surratt primer. So this is a silicone-free primer. It seems to work really well for my skin. I am enjoying it. I think it'll be a little bit better even during the summer months when I get a little bit oilier, but my skin is pretty normal, leans slightly dry, but it's mostly normal. And it's working really well for me. So I am enjoying this and I would repurchase this, especially since I was able to get the 20% off on this. But I would purchase it for the $95 if I already knew that it was definitely going to work well for me. So me knowing that it works for me, I would repurchase this at the $95 price tag. All right, now the Guerlain Rouge G lipsticks. So I purchased quite a few of those this month. So I purchased the new Cherry Blossom cases, and these cases are a definite repurchase. I'm still keeping an eye out for those of you who are interested in these. And if they pop up somewhere, I will definitely post it in the community tab on YouTube as well as on Instagram. So I'll let you guys know if I find them anywhere. Now, color-wise, this one I already had. This is the shade 62. It's part of the permanent line. I mean, I already purchased it once because I knew I liked it. I would repurchase this shade again. So that shade, again, that wasn't new for me though. Shade 61, I really like this and I'm glad that I purchased it. But if this shade did not have the Cherry Blossom imprint, I would not repurchase this particular shade. It's a matte and I just don't really wear mattes that often. I do like the vibrant pink shade and it is something that I will be wearing during the summer and so forth, but it's not something I'd wear a ton of, and I've got a lot of lipsticks. So I wouldn't repurchase the shade again if it weren't for the limited edition Cherry Blossom design on there. Since it does have that, and I live in Washington, D.C., where cherry blossoms are kind of like a big thing here, I would repurchase it for that reason, but based on the color alone, I would not. And again, that's number 61. All right, I also purchased 3 of the 5 new Guerlain Rouge G lipsticks and 3 of the cases. I have shades 81, which is a soft plum, and sorry, it's really hard to read these numbers, 59 and 66. And I would repurchase all of these, and I like these cases, so I would repurchase the cases as well. If you're interested in seeing more about those, you can check out the video with the swatches and so forth. All right, so the Chanel eyeliners. I purchased 2 of the new liquid eyeliners. And I am not great at using liquid eyeliner, so it's definitely something I want to work on getting better at. I really like these. I really like these colors. I purchased the, I think it's Gris Argent, if I remember correctly, shade 524. And I also purchased the Mauve Métal, which is number 518. And I really like both of the colors, and they've got a little bit of, there are some nuances in the shades. So the gray one, the silver one, has a little bit of like a goldish olive green type color kind of in there. So you can kind of see a little bit of that. And the Mauve Métal has a little bit of plum, a little bit of like the more rosy mauve color. So you can kind of see both of those shades in there. I really like it. I am also interested in purchasing a couple more of those. There is a blue and a burgundy that are really attracting me, but I also did just purchase some new Surratt eyeliners. So I'm trying to kind of tame some of those purchases because there are only so many liquid eyeliners you can use at once before they start drying up. So I think I'll probably wait till the fall for more Chanel eyeliners, or at least till we're further into the spring and summer months. So as we were mentioning that, these Surratt eyeliners, I purchased 3 of these. So I have black, blue, and purple, and I really like these. These have a finer point Then the Chanel ones, you can see it's actually one where you dip the product. So you've got the product in this well and you dip the brush into it. So, you know, you're going to get more product on your brush and it's a little bit harder to get a finer line. Whereas in the Surratt, you've got the product inside the tube and it comes out through the brush tip. So it's a little bit easier to get a finer point. Plus you can see how thin this brush tip actually is. So I really like both sets of eyeliners and I'm happy I purchased all of those. So I would repurchase. In particular, I like all the colors. So, you know, I would probably get all of the colors again. But, you know, I always try with liquid eyeliners. I like to have a black and then some unique colors. So purple's my favorite. So I would probably go with the purple again. Surratt brushes. I have the Surratt cheek brush, the face brush, here, let me show you. Here's the face brush. Here is, where's my cheek brush? The cheek brush, and then I purchased these eyeshadow brushes. So these are the petite and medium size for the Classique and the Smoky eye brushes. And I'm really enjoying all of these. These are all a repurchase for me. And I was able to get 20% off of these brushes, which made them a good deal. So I would definitely repurchase them, you know, with a sale, which, you know, if I wasn't able to get them now, I'd probably hold off until the holidays when there is some sort of sale, because if possible, I try to get my items on sale. So definitely love these brushes so far. The other Surratt items that I purchased this Torche Lumiere and Diamante, and I'm wearing it now on my cheek. And I really, really love this. It's a stick highlighter and I prefer tapping it on with my finger, but it also goes on nicely straight from the tube. It's just a little bit more intense than what I wear on a regular basis straight from the tube. I love this. I'm actually thinking about getting the Rose Diamante shade as well. So definitely really like that one. All right, and then the Shiseido powder. This is the powder foundation, and it's not something I'm going to be using every day, but it is great for traveling. So I just went out of town this weekend and I brought this with me instead of a traditional liquid foundation. Held up well. It's really easy to take with me. So I think it is a good idea to have one of these on hand. So yeah, I would repurchase this for that particular purpose. For a regular daily basis, I think I'll use this more during the summer, so I kind of have to wait and see on that, but I do really like it. The Sisley Phyto Hydra Tint, yeah, that color didn't work for me. I got the lightest color and it was just too yellow, so that is a fail for me. The Clé de Peau Lip Glorifiers, I've been using these frequently. I have 3 of them and I have them basically all over. I keep one on my desk, I keep one in my purse, and I keep one up here as well with my makeup, and I wear them frequently. So I really like them. Color-wise, you know, I have the red, the pink, and the orange, and I like all of them, but I've actually been reaching for the orange coral shade the most. Yeah, it's called number 3 Coral. And I've just been putting that one on a ton. And it might be because there is a little bit of that orange scent. Honestly, it's not very noticeable, but oranges are my favorite fruit. Like, I'm not even joking. Sometimes I will sit down and have 4 or 5 oranges for my lunch just because I love them that much when they are good. So I feel like, at least around here, the oranges we've been getting have been really good this year, and they haven't been the last few years. So I'm kind of trying to enjoy them as much as possible while I can. The Lancome lipstick. So I purchased this Lancome lipstick. This is shade 306 Vintage Ruby. And this is a click top, and then it pulls out from the bottom. And I like this lipstick. And I'm interested in seeing more of the shades. I don't know if I would repurchase this particular shade, but I am interested in trying some other ones. I would probably go with a different shade, although I do like this one. There's just nothing really spectacular about it. So it's kind of like an okay purchase. So next we have the Chantecaille lip veils. So I purchased a lot of those. Actually, I guess the Hummingbird collection ones were the previous month. I am still using those. But this month I purchased the elephant ones for the Valentine's Day special they had going. And I do really like these, and I would repurchase these. Elephants are also one of my favorite animals. Well, they are my favorite animal aside from some particular dogs. But yes, so I would repurchase all three of these, partly because they are donating money with these particular three to elephants, but also I just really love the lip veils, and I like all of these colors. So those are a repurchase for me. And let's see here. Next, where are we? The Chanel LeBlanc collection. All right, so this is a big one. So the Miroir d'Eau, this little gloss topper, you know, for me, I would not repurchase this. It's not something that really works well for me. I know some people really, really like this. And for me, I don't really like putting it on my eyes. It feels a little sticky on my cheeks, so I don't really like that. I do use it like as a lip gloss, and you know, it gives some nice iridescence in the middle of my lips. So, you know, it's definitely something I'll use now that I have it, but I would not buy it again. So for me, it's not something I really gravitate towards. I have to think about it and make myself use it. It's just not something I reach for. All right, and then the other collections in the Chanel LeBlanc, the Rosé Light Drops, I use these a lot. So you can't tell yet, but I often use these as a highlighter. So I've been using this or the Surratt Torche Lumière or the Chanel Eclat du Désert. Those are the three that I've been using the most. And these Rosé Light Drops, I also like mixing them in with my foundation. And what I've also been doing is mixing them in with the Sisley Phytocerns Eclat Concealer. So I've been doing a 50-50 mix under my eyes to get a little brightening. This shade's a little dark for me, and this lightens it up just enough for me. And it still gets that nice coverage. So these I would definitely repurchase, and I hope they continue to make these. So other items in the collection, the blush, the Rose Pétillon blush. I have that on today. I really like this. It is one of my new favorites. So I've actually been reaching for this blush and the Givenchy Gardens in Spice, this blush a lot. Those are the two I've basically been reaching for pretty much every day. So I would definitely repurchase the Chanel blush. The eyeshadow quads, I also really like those. Let me grab them. So we have the Eau de Fleur, which is this pink one, the pink and purples, and the Eau de L'Eau, which has, oh, that's the wrong one. The Eau de L'Eau is the grays and peach. And I would repurchase both of these because I do really like these colors. And I like how soft and subtle the shadows are. Just keep in mind that with the Chanel shadows, and I feel like this is in general for Chanel shadows, they are going to be a soft, subtle look. So they are not going to be intensely pigmented. You can sometimes build them up and so forth, but I feel like these are really more of that soft, romantic look. So I like that. So for me, I would repurchase them. And I personally like the LeBlanc shadows better than the Warm Memories and Elemental that came out for the spring summer collection. So for me, if I could purchase two of the shadows, I would purchase the LeBlanc ones over those, but they are a bit more shimmery in the LeBlanc collection. And, you know, for me, those colors are ones that I gravitate towards. So I really like those. All right, what else from the LeBlanc? We have the Chanel, I'm not sure where it is right now. I think it's downstairs, but the tinted lip balm lipstick. I forget what it's called, but I bought the rose one, And I really like that one. I would repurchase that. I think it's in my purse right now. I use it frequently. So it just gives a nice tint to the lips. I would definitely get that again. And I'm considering getting a couple more of those. That was my first one of that style. And I'll put the name up here because I can't remember what it is. All right, and then the Viseart lip glosses. So I purchased all 4 of these, and I really like the shades. I like how the colors, they can be sheer or you can build them up to be pigmented, but yet they don't look splotchy, particularly the darkest one. I'm not the biggest fan of the scent, although I think the scent is a nice scent. I'd prefer it in a candle. So, you know, it's just, the scent lingers and I wish it didn't do that. So would I repurchase these? I like the colors, but I think I would not repurchase them due to the scent. So I would, if they made them without the scent, I would repurchase them, but I'm kind of on the fence with the scent there, although I really like the texture and the colors. So, you know, I think for me, I would probably pass because there are just so many wonderful lip products out there. If I'm not completely happy with it, there's no point purchasing it again when I can try something new. All right, so Esom brushes. I had purchased the Michelle Wong Esom brush collection that came with some of the sable hair brushes and so forth. And I have to say this one, the W36, is the one that I reach for and use the most. So I would definitely repurchase this brush. I actually like, I like all of the brushes in the set, but the ones that I use the most would be that one and this one here, W21. And I feel like the other ones, you know, like this is another one from the set. This is W23 and it's just a little bit large. So I don't use that very much. And same thing with like the G34 here. It's just, they're very large. And so if I were to repurchase, it would probably, I would pick these 2, W21 and W36. And then, what is it? The T05, which is just a traditional like eyeline or stamper brush. You know, I use that all the time, but I did already have a few brushes just like that. So, you know, if I was in the market for one, I would certainly repurchase that one again. But I think it's kind of like a brush shape that pretty much everybody has, and it is synthetic. So, you know, they're pretty much, in my opinion, they're pretty much all the same. So that's it for the Esom brushes. The Pat McGrath Opulust lip glosses. So I have actually been using these, not super regularly because, you know, I don't really need that much sparkle every day, but I would not repurchase all of them. I purchased the whole set. And I really have just found that there are some I just don't really care for, like the glowing garnet. That is the red one, which I feel like in the pictures, it looks like this really pretty sparkly red, but on me, it really looks more fuchsia because of the pink glitter in there. That's pretty much all I can see. It looks like hot pink. And I'm not a huge fan of that. The colors I like the most have not changed from when I made my video, so if you're interested, take a look at that. But I like the lavendering because it's so unique. I also really like this Coral Liaison, and I think, where is it? The Under Your Spell is the other one I've been reaching for. Here it is, and that's like a pink. So these are the 3 that I reach for the most, and yeah, those are the ones that I would repurchase. The others, honestly, I don't think I would repurchase unless there was a particular event or something I needed that for. So, Givenchy Teint Couture City Balm. I am still really enjoying this. So, I have shade N104, and this is a skin tint, tinted moisturizer essentially. For me, I think it's a little bit more like a light coverage foundation. I really like it. I've been wearing it a couple times a week, so I would repurchase this. I'm still in the market for the perfect tinted sunscreen, or not tinted sunscreen, tinted moisturizer or whatever. This is, to me, a little bit, I don't know. I really, really like this. I just think it's, there's something about it that's just not perfect to me yet. I'm not sure what it is, but I would definitely repurchase this, and I plan on wearing this on a regular basis. So it's still a pass, or not pass, like passing grade is what I meant to say, but you know, it's a favorite. So there we go. And the Givenchy Gardens blush and lipsticks. So the blush, I mentioned before that I've been reaching for this one a lot. This and the Chanel Rose Pétillante. Is that what it was called? Rose Pétillante. Yeah. That was number 330. This is, again, a limited edition casing for the spring collection, but the color inside is called Spice. It is permanent color. It's number 3. I believe it is their most popular selling blush color. I love this blush color. I think it is a fantastic peachy pink, and I reach for this constantly. So I would definitely repurchase this. The lipsticks, I think I only have one of them up here. These are the sparkling lipsticks in the Givenchy Gardens collection. So this is the Sparkling Lily. This is the orange. I also have the pink, the peony color. I really like both of them, and I've been wearing both of them pretty frequently. So yes, I would repurchase these. In comparison to the Chantecaille lip crystals, honestly, I like them both. These colors are different from those. So, you know, I feel like the fact that they're both sparkly, they both have a nice consistency in the lips, so that's pretty equal. But I do really like this colors. This Sparkling Lily, if I were to only get one of these lipsticks, I think I would go with the Sparkling Lily. I'm really enjoying this corally orange shade. It's got like a nice brightness to it. And yeah, so this would be the one that I would repurchase if I could only get one. All right, and we're almost done. The Pat McGrath concealer. So I'm still playing around with it before I give you guys final thoughts on that. So I like the concealer. I actually have it on now. It's been, gosh, let's see here. Put it on around 7 o'clock this morning, and I think it's about 3 o'clock now. So it's been on for quite a while. So that's like 8 hours here. And you can see that it's, let me get even closer. It's holding up well. I'm just not 100% sold on the color. You can see it's a little bit lighter than what I'm used to. I need to see the rest of the shades in person, because if I try to go with things with a neutral undertone that goes well with my skin, but the next shade up with the neutral undertone looks like it's way too dark. So I kind of have to see in person. I do like how it does kind of give a brightening effect here, and I like the consistency of it so far. But I'm just not 100% positive on the color situation yet. So I'm trying to see it in person. I haven't been able to get out too much recently for those purposes. So I will give you guys my final thoughts on that. But texture-wise, consistency-wise, I do like it. The under eye blurring powder I purchased as well, and I like this blurring powder. But honestly, it seems pretty much just like the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. So if you already have that in the original shade, this light shade, honestly, they feel the same on my eyes. They pretty much act the same way. So, except this one's pressed, the other one's loose. So I wouldn't repurchase. I would get one and not the other. So if you already have the By Terry, I would skip this. If you don't have the By Terry, this is cheaper. So I'd probably go with this. I didn't realize the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder actually only has 2 ingredients. So, you know, I don't know. It seems kind of expensive for what it is because it's mostly silica. So, you know, I would get one and not the other. So depending which one you have, if you're interested. So I think that was everything for my purchases from this month. And let me go ahead and share with you guys some of the things that I've been reaching for on a regular basis. So I have been basically using the Surratt primer. I don't really like any of the other primers that I have. I've got a lot of, you know, older primers like that are more like a silicone base, like this, what is this? The Touche Éclat Blur Primer from Yves Saint Laurent. And, you know, I just prefer something a little bit less silicone feeling. And so I really like this, but it is the first silicone-free primer that I have tried as well. So we'll see how some of the others compare to it. But so far, I really like this. I have been using it on a daily basis. Foundation-wise, I'm still reaching for my Guerlain L'Essentiel foundation. I think my bottles, I think it's about here-ish what's left based on what I can see through the bottle. And I have the shade 00N. So I've been reaching for that a lot. I've also been reaching for the Givenchy Teint Couture City Balm. So those are the two I've been using the most frequently. And then occasionally I've also been using the Clé de Peau Radiant Cream to Powder Foundation. So those are the three I've really been using the most. Highlighter wise, I am using essentially either the Chanel Rosy Light Drops or the Surratt Torche Lumiere or the Chanel Eclat du Désert. Those are the three I've been reaching for the most, which here it is. So this is the one from the spring summer collection. So these are the ones, the highlighters I've been using on a regular basis. And recently I've been reaching more for the Rosy Light Drops or the Surratt Torche Lumiere, just because of the texture. I've been preferring something that's not quite as dry because my skin's kind of going through a transition right now. So blush, we covered, it's the Chanel Rose Pétillante and the Givenchy Gardens in Spice. Been using those frequently. I pretty much haven't used any other blush besides those two for the most part this month. So definitely reaching for those a lot. For eyes, I've been reaching for a lot of Chantecaille shadows the most. I've been using the Hummingbird quads. I have also been using the two new Chanel quads, the Au Fil de l'Eau and Au Fil des Fleurs. So I've been using those a lot. And then honestly, I'm still using my luminescent eye shades from Chantecaille a lot. I have all 6 of them, but the ones I reach for the most would be the Elephant, which is, they describe it as a taupe, but it's really more gray with a little bit of taupe for me. So I use this one a lot, and the Cheetah, which is just a nice champagne. Those are probably the 2 I use the most. And then, you know, I've been using like the other 4 shades here and there. But definitely the Elephant and the Cheetah are my top 2 out of the Chantecaille luminescent eye shades. I also am still reaching for this from Tom Ford. This was from the holiday collection. This is number 11 Fleur Neige. This is the cream on the bottom, and you can see how much I've used. This was a nice mound at the top, and you can see from the side I've really kind of dug into that. So it's actually what I have on my eyes today. Anytime I'm looking for something super fast and I don't really have to pay attention, I've been going for this or the new, this is the top, by the way. So that's a powder that you put on top of the cream. So I've been either reaching for that or the Chanel liquid eyeshadows. So these are the Ombre Premier Locks. I've been using all 5 of the colors, but my favorites are Rayon, Desert Wind, and Quartz Rose. So these 3 are my top 3 for those. And I believe these were a January purchase, but I've been using these a ton as well. So definitely something I'm reaching for on a regular basis. So for eyeshadows, those are the ones that I'm using pretty much all the time, with some others mixed in here and there. And eyeliners, again, my favorite eyeliner of all time that I still use on a regular basis is the Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in Olive Brocade. So this is my favorite shade. I've also been reaching a lot for Violet Damask in the same line, if I could find it. Here it is. So it's like it's a violet, but it's got more of the blue toned purple. And then I've been playing around with all the new liquid eyeliners as well. But for eyeliners, it's that or some shadow for me. So I like to use eyeshadow as a liner most frequently, especially under my eyes. So concealer wise, let's see here. I've been playing around. So, you know, there's no one thing for that. And lips. Honestly, I've been playing around with those frequently as well. So I've been using all the new lip products, but ones that I'm still reaching for from previous purchases, I'm still using my Rouge G from the holiday collection in number 96. This is still around some places if you're interested in this color, but it is a limited edition shade, I believe. I am using the Chantecaille Lip Cheeks from the Hummingbird collection. This one that I have on right now is actually this pink one. This is Coral Belle. And I've been using all four of them, but the ones I'm reaching for the most would be the Honeysuckle and Lupine. So those I've been wearing the most. And honestly, I've just been playing around with all the lip products that I have. So I already mentioned the Clé de Peau Lip Glorifier. I've been wearing this very frequently. And yeah, for lip products, that's basically it. I've been wearing all of the new ones from this month pretty regularly right now. So other things, oh, the Chanel Blanc I've been wearing all the time. I'm not sure where that particular one is right now, but that's one of the Camellia collection, but it's the one that's kind of clear. It's maybe got the slightest tint of pink, but I've been wearing that all the time. I use it as a topper or even just on bare lips to give, it's mostly clear, but there's a little bit of pink, so it gives a little bit of a tint to the lip. It's pretty much not noticeable, but I've been really enjoying using that. So face powders, that's my last thing. I am still using this Givenchy Poudre Premiere a lot. I've been using this for both setting and for finishing. And then I've also been reaching for the traditional Guerlain Meteorite Pearls, and I have the shade Light or Clair. And these are the two that I have been using the most for powders, as well as the Chantecaille Hummingbird Perfect Blur. I've been using this mostly under my eyes, actually. I am using it still all over my face as well, but pretty much on a daily basis until I've been testing out this Pat McGrath concealer. I've been using this under my eyes, and I really like how it gives a little bit of a peachy brightening effect under my eyes. And yeah, so I've been using this one a lot. So that is everything. I'm sorry this was so long, but I hope this was helpful in determining some of your purchases. So questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are interested and you haven't done so already, I'd love it if you could subscribe, and you could hit the notification bell if you're interested in being notified when a new video pops up. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. So. Mm.